Hello guys and welcome back to Brits Bollywood. It's Zing channel and I am Asad and here is the answer to the question. Kyun ho gaya na? I had really amazing music in this film but didn't like the film that much because it's really typical. But I really enjoyed the music in this film. Now I'm going to talk about a latest trend in Bollywood. Seriously, do they think that audience is really stupid? Now before every film releases, there's always news of the co-stars falling out, people not talking, fights start happening, gossip being created. I mean, I know your film's about to be released, but your film was shot like a year ago. So the story of Ajay Devgan and Kangana not talking because theirs is being released end of this month doesn't make sense. So it just shows that you are just creating random news right now so people can start talking. How about you speak on the way your trailer is looking or the music of the film? You know, talk about good content. Don't create controversy because it doesn't work every time. And I'm a strong believer in that. Just because your film is coming, seriously, we are really smart and content is king. But right now we're going to go to one person whose music has spoken for decades and he is brilliant at what he does. I'm talking about Adnan Sami. He was in London and we spoke to him exclusively here on Brits Bollywood. Check this out. Hello guys and welcome back to Brits Bollywood. As I said, I will be here with the return of the sun back to London. I'm talking about Adnan Sami. Welcome to London first of all.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Brits Bollywood. Good to have you here. Now I was just doing some research and I was like reading upon you generally. Not in a good way. And I was like, first question I had to ask was, I mean obviously we have a very fun show. So you're born in London, but you have a very American-Canadian accent.
Yeah, I'm totally messed up, aren't I?
I know, and how does that work? I mean, you sound, he's like the Keanu Reeves without the genes messed up, right? You know how Keanu Reeves has like 6 different parents, different blood, yeah? So his accent is in that way, so describe that, honestly.
It's really strange because, I mean, I had a very, very typical British accent. And
was it East London? Did you sound like that? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Very posh, okay,
no.
Queen's English.
It was slightly better than that.
All right, so slightly better than that. All right.
No mean. So, but no.
Yeah, you should not sound, because Guy Ritchie's pub's around the corner. He might cast you in the next film if you're going to sound like this. So you're going to give Jason Statham, since his new body, he's going to give Jason Statham a run for his money.
Oh wow, yeah, but the thing was that I because my father was in the diplomatic service, so we were before I sort of went to boarding school in England. We also, you know, I was going to American schools before that. I mean, but that was before I went to rugby and all that. So, and they were all American schools. Yeah. So that sort of, you know, that sort of got in. And then, you know, my family was also based in the States and in Canada. So I guess that's where it sort of rubbed off. Of course, initially when I went to rugby, we used to have the good old cliched argument that, is it tomato or is it tomato?
Tomato.
You know,
so what is it now?
I think whatever does it for you, but you know it's all good as long as it's red.
Sure, as long as it's red. Now let's. So you know your journey started probably, I would say, at the age of 10 when you were noted by Aisha Bhosle at that concert, and then one thing led to another. Now you've just become a legend in your own rights now. So do you think that as a kid, I'm talking about future, like, you know, just for little kids who are actually watching this, that parents need to actually push a kid towards various factors, whether it's sports, music, studies? Where does it derive from for you personally?
I had a great time doing Sarigama Little Champs. A nice little plug-in for ZTV. But it's a fact. I mean, jokes apart, it was an amazing show, and I feel extremely lucky and privileged that I had an opportunity to do this program because I was able to interact with children and see some of the most finest talents, you know, in the country. And the thing was that many times, you know, I noticed that the child was actually under more pressure because they were trying to please the parents, and the parents were sometimes pushing the child beyond the realms or of sanity and driving the kid crazy. And I would sometimes tell the parents, listen, just back off a little bit, you know, because sometimes what happens is that you'll get a reverse effect. That, you know, because you're pushing the child towards a particular, they'll rebel against it. I don't want to do this.
you know, you just actually did the job for the psychologist right now. I know when I have a kid, I need to listen to this advice and take care of that. How long since your last concert in the UK?
I was here last in 2008.
So about 4 years now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, time flies. You know, it seems
I know
like
you
yesterday.
look like a different man as well, but we're going to come back to later because he was giving us some tips, right? How to have the perfect body, which is going to define to us
Perfect
later.
body.
Listen, these muscles, even
Hot.
Hot. By the way, he smells great, and I'm a straight man. But I'm telling you right now, guys, on the show, whatever it is, we're not going to plug more brands right now on the show. But it's a
In
fact.
a legitimate way.
In very, very legitimate. Okay, what's in the pipeline for the albums?
Well, I'm.
We are waiting.
Yeah.
And waiting.
Extremely soon, actually, because again, I didn't realize that. You know, you don't realize how time flies, and then you suddenly sort of because in between you're involved in so many things that you don't really realize. You know, it's like I was like. You know, I was just here, and I said, no, it was 2008. It's 2012 now. It's like, wow, you know, it's been that long.
You hadn't been back since then?
No.
At all?
No. You know, so the thing is that, you know...
The Queen's not happy about it.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, I'll just have to do something special in the concert. So you know, the thing is that I've got a new album that I've been recording, and it's in its final stages of mixing, and I'm extremely excited about it because... you know, apart from you know, some romantic tracks and some of the fun tracks that I normally do in my albums, I ventured into some new stuff. In the sense that stuff that I've not done before in an album.
Experimental.
I wouldn't say experimental per se, but I mean, for example, I've never composed a Sufi song.
Oh wow!
So it's the first time I've actually composed a Sufi song.
Can I do another plug exclusively on Brits Bollywood? Okay, let's go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's a shameless plug. And you know, the thing is that I mean, I'm a Pathan, but I speak Punjabi.
Yeah, sure.
And so I have a lot of Punjabi friends, and you know they've been telling me for the longest period. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਗਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਗਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਿਲੋਂ ਆਏਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਗਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਿਲੋਂ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ ਗਾਣਾ
Fantastic. Now tell us, now I know Bipasha Basu came out with this DVD where she's like how to get the tone six-pack body that she had. Seriously, you could have sold billions of DVDs. I can officially announce that and this is a fact, that how you shot from this to, I mean, this wonderful body that you have right now. Summarize it in 2 sentences. What was the journey like personally?
I think...
Please just don't say cut out salt and sugar, seriously.
No. Not at all. I mean, you could eat a horse if you wanted. I mean, sure. Quantity-wise, you know. I hate those diets where they turn around and say, you can have 1 tablespoon of brown rice.
Only
boiled. It's like, what the hell is that all about? I mean, you know, you really expect me to go out and have a full day's work with 1 brown rice
100 calories a day.
I mean, get out of town. I mean, who are you
with olive oil.
With olive oil. I mean, you know, it's all good, but I mean, you know, get real. You know, sure. I mean, you know, how can you sustain that? You know, some people came up to me and they said, "Oh, आपने liposuction की है ना, liposuction." मैंने कहा यार, मेरे 220 किलो थे, liposuction के लिए मुझे vacuum cleaner की ज़रूरत होती है. You know, I mean, you know, liposuction is meant for people who are basically fit and they require a little bit of fine tuning,
absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, with my kind of thing would be, can you just visualize it? About 5 people just standing there like this.
Ghostbusters.
Exactly, like Ghostbusters. Pardon. You know, so the point is that, you know, I mean, it's just not possible. Get real, guys. So, but the thing is that I think to sum it up very simply, I mean, I think it was 80% mind and 20% physical, because the most difficult part to get over is the mental block.
Sure.
That, you know, I mean, the first thing I remember when I used to attend diets before, it used to be, you know, if I would say, "Acha bhai, मैं आप सबको बता रहा हूँ कि मैं अब डाइट पे जा रहा हूँ। कब जा रहे हो? मैं परसों से जा रहा हूँ। परसों क्यों? नेक काम में देर क्यों होनी चाहिए? मैं कहा यार 2 दिन मुझे बुखार को तो सहने दो और 2 दिन मैं से अपने आप को तैयार करूँगा. And during those 2 days, I would eat anything under the sun. And I would just go completely mad. And then after that, you know, the next, on the D-Day, I would just, you know, you know, I would be frightened and I would be absolutely, I would be in the worst of mood. But once I was able to come out of that mental state, you know, and then of course I used to break my diet, you know. So the most important thing was actually getting my mind sorted out. And once I did that, then the physical part was quite easy.
Well, you look great, and now, just before we go, now that you can see the end credits will be rolling, I'll give you a question to ask them, and we'll give them a prize. I know, not down there right now, but yeah, you know. You see, this is so animated, I can just see him becoming a director one day. Anyway, so tell her, any question for the audience, anything you want to ask me, and you can tell me the answer afterwards, and I'll give them a prize.
Okay. What school did I study in when I was in England?
Do you know, you do, okay, so what school did Adnan go when he was in England? And he did give the answer, by the way, at the beginning of this interview. So if you want to rewind on your Sky Pluses, and there's another plug actually, it's really shameful.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's really bad for us. But
bad.
yeah, answers
Filthy.
absolutely, answers on...
Abominable.
Answers on asad@ztv.co.uk. In the meantime, as always, thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure was mine.
Absolutely.
Take care.